My name is thirza. This is the variation of my medium. This is my video. Fast forward it to a more interesting bit, but yeah, it's kind of big. Basically, I tried to sort of apply Goodwin's theory to my video, but it was quite hard because my video is quite different to a lot of music videos. It doesn't really use that many conventions of them, but the main one that stood out really is the aspects of voyeurism, because rather than in a sort of a sexual sense, you are literally the whole video just watching somebody sort of go about their business and they don't know that you're watching them, so it's very sort of voyeuristic. And another one was the music and the visuals, like it's cut to the beat, and sometimes the editing reflects the tempo of the music. So in the chorus, which is quite fast paced, it's sped up sort of time lapse and things like that. I couldn't really connect the lyrics to the visuals because they were really hard things. Like one of the lines was Alaska's like a desert, which was kind of, I had no idea what I could do as a visual for that. But the name of the song is Sleepless Nights, and I sort of used that to jump off from. So I thought, well, I will film a sleepless night. And that's basically what I did. And sort of make it a bit more visually interesting, like I did it with a time lapse. So it would be more interesting than just sort of watching somebody walking around. But it does mean that my video does rely on representation a little bit, because you sort of have to have the sort of stereotypes of people and sort of things like that to understand the character and why he's awake and where he's going and why he's going there and that sort of thing. I got my idea from this Prodigy video, which I'll just but that was quite a famous video by Prodigy. But I changed the idea a little bit because theirs is all point of view sort of shots. You never get to see the actor's face, just sort of their arms and legs. And I didn't really want that because I thought it was quite sort of impersonal and a bit clinical, really. So I decided to have it so you can always see the actor's face, because then you can see their emotions and it's just sort of easier to understand what they're doing. Because with the Prodigy video, you can't really understand sort of how the person is feeling while they're, you know, doing the actions of turning the shower on and all that. And I aimed it at a young audience because the song is sort of indie, and I've never really known anybody sort of older to like indie, really. So that's what I aimed at. And so I thought time lapse as well would appeal to sort of younger people, because I don't know, they're more into sort of technology and sort of pushing technology and seeing sort of what things you can create visually. Time lapse, I was influenced by the Planet Earth documentary that used a lot of time lapse. I've got a little clip. It's really, really amazing to watch. thing, like with Goodwin's theory, it was kind of hard to apply narrative theories to it as well because it doesn't really have a story as such. Because sort of most of the narrative theories rely on there being some kind of conflict, and there's no other characters in my video for my sort of main character to conflict with, and there's no situations that could really be conflicting. So then I sort of thought, well, you could wiggle it in there with he has sort of an internal conflict about trying to sleep and not being able to sleep and why can't he sleep and all this sort of thing. But it's not a conflict that gets resolved because he doesn't in the video get to go to sleep. As well as the music video I made a digipack as well. But I kind of decided I wanted it to be completely different from my music video because I don't know really, just because I did research sort of indie like album covers and things, and this one at the bottom was pretty influential for me. I really liked it. I thought it was really like inventive and stuff because they actually used like a mirror kind of thing down the middle and both sides the same. I just really liked the effect that made. And when I was researching, I never really found a they never really used sort of as a common thing a man on his own. It was always either a woman or the band, and I didn't work really with the band. I didn't take any photos of them, so I decided to go with sort of the girl. And it seemed to me indie albums always sort of have a thing of that always quite muted, like the colours and things are always quite pale or like kind of bleached out a bit. And so that's what I decided to do. I'm quite happy with it. And the other thing was my proposal, because I didn't write one for the first music video I made. Okay. And I was just sort of faffing about and not really getting anything done. And then as soon as I wrote one for this music video, I made it a lot quicker. It took me nearly 3 months to make the first one, but it took me a week to make the second one, so the proposal was obviously very useful to me. Audience feedback was really nice. Everyone was really nice about it, which is good. I got it just from making a survey and sending it to people I knew over Facebook and looking at the comments people had left on the YouTube video as well. And people said that it was either amazing, great, or okay, which is good. I was happy about that. 90% of them said that they liked it, which is good, and 100% said that it suited the genre, which I was really pleased about because my first music video, I abandoned it because it just didn't suit the genre at all. Some more feedback could make you big-headed. I was really pleased that people said they'd see it sort of on YouTube or TV, because I was like, this is indie, it's quite sort of an underground kind of video. And I was really pleased that people thought it was good enough to be there. And they said, most people said that it was almost as good as a professional, or it compared very well with professional videos, which is a really nice boost as well. Media technologies. There's some things that really I liked working with, which was Adobe Premiere, Apple iMation, and just the internet. And some things I hated working with, which was After Effects, blog, and contacting the band via email, because it meant they could reply at their own sort of pleasure, and they never seemed to get back to me when it was really important. After Effects, I found it really difficult to use. It made me really angry. I hated it. And then blogging, I much preferred when we got to work in art books, because I just felt it was a bit more creative and had a bit more control over it, because I'm not that great with technology. I felt like the deadlines as well that were always up on the blog were really pressurising and made me feel really panicked. But Adobe Premiere was really fun to use. It was really easy, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting it to be really complicated. And Apple iMation was really fun to use, but it wasn't very productive, as it took me 2 hours to make this short clip, which is 5 seconds long, so it was not productive at all. That's basically it. I think if I was going to do it again, I'd be a bit more organised.
Brilliant.